Okay, our second how-to is going to be a nice and easy one. We're going to show you how to do a chain maintenance. This is a Yamaha FC6R, but anything with a chain, the same theories apply. We're going to start out showing you the different types of jacks there are. Vanna White, would you display our first jack?
This thing?
Yeah, this is a full motorcycle jack. Obviously, it works like a car jack. You roll it underneath, you step on the pedal, and it lifts the bike up. Key note with this one is you usually want to strap the bike down just to the jack stand. Otherwise, when you pick it up, it could fall off depending upon how flat an area you're able to get the pads under.
Not only that, it doesn't work with a lot of bikes. Like it's not going to work with the FC6R. There's no frame. Dirt bikes, great.
Yep. Yeah. So you can see here, there's not really any place to place those pads on this other than right on the exhaust. With all the weight of the bike on it, could very easily bend. So we're not going to use that jack. Your second option is something a travel jack, or they call them pack jacks. And the theory behind these is very simple. You place it under it as you see it here. You push forward until it picks the bike up. And what it does is it picks the tire up and just forces it over on the kickstand a little bit more. So it picks the tire up just a hair off the ground so that you can spin the wheel and clean the chain.
But again, no worky.
Now, the reason this doesn't work, and what I've found is when you've got a polished concrete floor or a smooth concrete floor, the jack slides too much. So I've used that jack successfully many times, but it's always been out on the street in the pavement where the jack catches in the grooves in the pavement. So the jack we are going to use is this lovely swing arm jack that can be found at a bargain price at places like Harbor Freight. I believe you paid nothing for this one, right? How much? 20 bucks? 30 bucks?
Like 20, 30 bucks.
Yeah. So these are great for these type for sport bikes. And all you do is you're going to adjust these lifting plates so that they match the width of the swing arms on your bike. You're going to slide them under. Oops.
Did you get it?
Yeah, let's start. Come back to this side. So now we've got it matched up on both sides. The left side, obviously because the bike is leaned over, is on the lower side, so the jack compensates for that. And you just pull back, hold the bike a little bit, pull back, push all the way back, and gently lay it on the ground. Now you can see the back tire clearly off the ground and the bike is standing perfectly upright. So this jack's useful for a couple type of maintenance. Anything obviously doing with the rear tire. So now that we've got the tire free spinning, we are going to proceed with the cleaning. Okay, here we got the tools we're going to use. We've got a chain cleaning brush. I mean, if you don't have a brush, you can use a rag. Don't plan on ever using that rag again for anything else, ever. I mean, you can see guys wad up paper towels and use them, but obviously you can only go a few strokes, and you want to make sure that no pieces of anything get stuck in the chain, so not recommended. But we've got a degreaser here to clean the chain.
A few strokes, huh?
And then we've got a lubricant. There's a million different types on there. I was using a 3-tier system with a cleaner, a luber, and then a wax. There's a ton of options. So poke around and see what you think suits your fancy. Okay, so once we've got the bike jacked up, we're going to proceed with the cleaner. You're going to put your little red chingabobber on there, and you're going to just get it right in the chain here while you're slowly spinning the tire.
And by red chingabobber, you mean straw, right?
So we're just going to, we're just going to spray it out a little bit. Why isn't it spinning?
It's probably in gear, huh?
You do need to put it in neutral. No. It was in neutral. I was hitting something. Cut.
Yeah, don't mind us. We may have taken 1 or 2 hits here.
Okay, so we're gonna put the degreaser on, and you just spray it on as you move the chain around. Get it a little wet. I put some paper towels down, or which would not have been my first choice, but if you have a tarp or something to throw under it, some of the cleaners and will stain the floor, and also they're slippery, so I can just try to keep them off of the.
Hey, because we can't see you.
Oh, okay. All right, go.
We're going. You're gonna have to cut that out.
Okay. Once you get the degreaser all the way around the chain, we're going to take our chain cleaning brush and just start scrubbing. Move the chain an inch or so at a time. The 3 brushes obviously facing each direction, try and get the chain from all sides except for that back one. So just systematically go across the chain, moving it a little bit at a time. You know, want to do a pretty easy motion. Especially the more you clean your chain, obviously, the less you have to do. I recommend pretty frequent chain cleanings. Even say after you wash your bike to lube the chain. I don't.
Hey, but
take it to that extreme.
But other than having a clean chain, what are the advantages to cleaning your chain?
It creates less wear and tear on the sprocket. It creates a smoother action. I mean, it keeps your performance at peak. And like I said, it creates less wear and tear on the sockets if you don't have any sprockets, if you don't have gunk and stuff in there. So your sprocket and the teeth stay sharp and don't need a sprocket replacement. So after you've applied the degreaser and you've cleaned the sprocket and cleaned everything up, there's usually some kind of leftover residual stuff on the chain. So spinning, you know, so that it's moving away from you to make sure you don't get your rag or your fingers caught between the sprocket. Spin it away from you. Take a chopped rag and just clean it off. Get the residual grime that the brushes have loosened off to make it nice and shiny. I like to go around a few times on everything to see it cleaned off a lot more grime and how beautiful and shiny the chain now is. So now we'll move on to lubing it. Okay, now that we've cleaned the chain off, we're going to go through and just take our lubricant again with the straw and spray it around, you know, fairly liberally in the grooves of the chain, and then the sprocket will work it in some too. You can take your brush. They don't work so well on the sprocket, but if you can clean the sprocket off a little bit as you go too, that always helps. I recommend you run the bike for 5 or 10 minutes to warm up the chain before you do it. It's not necessary, but they do say it lubes up, or warms up the gunk a little bit, especially if you're not using a brush. Now I'm just going to wipe the gunk off the sprocket hopefully.
Careful not to pinch your fingers in there. That would hurt like hell.
Yeah, that would not be good. Try and push very lightly on the thing here, otherwise the stuff goes flying everywhere. Thank you. Alright, once you've gone around a few times, you're pretty much done. You want to leave it sitting for at least 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Let excess drip off while it rests. And try not to make as big a mess. Use something other than paper towels underneath your bike. Okay.
We're going. We're on the air.
So, unlike us, try and keep your hits at a minimum before you do any work on your motorcycle to prevent death, dismemberment, or whatever. Watch for spray up on your tire. Obviously, if I were to lean over that far, it probably wouldn't be good. So, like I said, you need to let it sit for 15 or 20 minutes so all the lubricant seeps in and it won't fling off so much. They have different anti-fling and fling resistant, and they have a million degreasers, cleaners available for you to choose from. I was using the Maxim with the 3-stage last time, which has got a no fling wax that goes on at the end. But anyway, like I said, once you do that and you let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes, you're good to get out and ride. Enjoy yourself, be safe, like and subscribe.